Good morning. Good morning. Get situated here. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is my Cleveland real estate market update. And I am just about ready to get started here. But before I get started, again, thank you for joining me. Please, 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 if you're not already subscribed or like my channel, please do so now and share my channel with people that you know. I like to provide a lot of great information, tools, and resources right here in the community to get you prepared for home ownership. So I don't want you to miss out, and you never know how many friends or family members who are looking or searching for information and they don't have a trusted source to go to. So you could be helping them. So, all right. So I got my glasses on, Professor Wilson, this morning. These are actually blue blocker glasses for people that look at the computer a lot. If you haven't tried these, you have to try them out. But at any rate, the Cleveland real estate market, what's going on with it, right? We are wrapping up June. We just came off of quarantine, sort of, kind of. The market and just businesses are just now starting to reopen. We're still practicing social distancing here in the Cleveland market. Much of the country is still practicing social distancing. So, with that being said, in terms of real estate and showing and viewing and taking a look at homes, we still have to practice social distancing when we go into people homes and just practice wearing face masks, using lots of hand sanitizer, taking off our shoes just to respect the wishes of that potential homeowner. So we're still seeing a lot of that, but there is definitely a lot of activity, lots going on in the marketplace. Prior to COVID-19, in terms of the real estate market, we started to see an increase, a higher demand for real estate. We started to see value start to increase, and this momentum of the real estate starting to go up. And then COVID-19 hit, and that kind of leveled things out a little bit. We started to see not necessarily a decline, but it started to level out. Um, in terms of seeing that equity in those price points starting to go up on the market. So mortgage interest rates are at a historical low, and so with that being said, it makes it a great time to purchase a home. With the interest rates being so low, it's really making it very affordable for people to go in, find that home, and to move forward. And even if you already own a home, it's a great time to look into refinancing your home. If we didn't learn anything else from COVID-19, we learned that we need to preserve our resources, be able to put as much money into savings as possible. So if you switch some things around, like getting your mortgage payment lowered, then that actually can increase some money that you have and be able to allow you to save a lot more. So if you need a connection to a mortgage lender, let me know. I have that. So the purchase demand activity is saying it's up over 20% from a year ago. So the demand for housing is up over 20%. It is the highest since January 2009. So the market is up and the demand since 2009, even during this time of COVID. Um, so with the mortgage rates up, the demand is there. Um, it's keeping buyers motivated during this time. It's been our challenge because we also have a historically low housing inventory stock. So for buyers who are interested in buying a home, they're going out into the marketplace. They're excited. They're going out and they're seeing the challenge of finding that perfect home that fits the needs of their family. So what's happening is, with such low inventory and such a large pool of buyers, is causing situations where multiple offers are going in on the property. So a property is coming on the market, and literally within 24 hours or so, that property is then going under contract. Obviously, there's some times where the property is still overpriced, and so it sits there a little bit longer until that seller, decides to finally lower the price. But we are seeing that properties are coming on, especially good properties, and within a couple the same day, offers are going in, and these homes are getting sold. So if you're a buyer and you're kind of like, oh, I can't see a property until the weekend, this is actually causing a problem for you, because if that property went up on a Monday and you're trying to see that property that weekend, then it's probably too late for you. So as properties come on the market, you have to get out to that property right away to take a look at it. This is where it's important to have a seasoned real estate agent because of a couple things. Number one, you want to make sure, usually if they're a seasoned agent, they're probably in this business full time. So they have the flexibility to show the property to you either in the morning or in the evening as soon as that property comes on the market. This is very important in this type of market because you need to get there as quick as possible. Secondly, you want to make sure that agent is seasoned, because you need to make sure they have good negotiation skills. They've experienced this. So you want to go in and make sure that you're writing strong offers. So a seasoned agent will be able to give you that guidance that you need when writing that offer, instead of going in low and potentially losing out because of that, and then saying afterwards, like, oh, I would have went higher, or would have offered more, or we would have wrote it a different way. So this is definitely important when you're out there and you're getting ready to look for a home. You want to make sure you have an agent that is very seasoned in there. So with the housing inventory being so low, we want to make sure that as a buyer that you stay motivated and you have a little bit more patience in knowing this in this market, that it might take you a little bit longer, where you are hoping to find that home maybe within 30 days or 60 days. It may take 6 months in this type of market, what we're seeing, but you definitely don't want to give up on your goal of home ownership. So I do want to show you, I have a PowerPoint here. I'm going to share my screen with you to talk about and review some of the numbers that we're seeing. And the first thing I want to do, I want to share with you, let's see here. I want to share with you the housing supply year over year. So this is just taking a look at the numbers here on what the housing supply has done. So this is the last 12 months of what we're seeing. So as you can tell, over the 12-month period, the housing supply has dropped more and more and more. We saw in January, once the year flipped, that it went down, it had dropped a little bit more, but then in February and March, we started to see a little decrease in that. And then in April, that's primarily when the pandemic had hit, we saw a drastic drop at that point. And so that, at this point, has started to carry over, and we're still seeing the side effects or the outcome from this housing supply here. So I also want to share with you, I'm going to look back at May 2020 numbers. So this is kind of where we ended as of the month of May. The number of home sales was at 1,483. The average sale price was 187,000. We had new listings of 221, and the average days on market was 54 days. So actually, the number of listings and the number of home sales, this was actually pretty shocking. This wasn't as bad as we had thought it was going to be, just with the overall coronavirus hitting and sellers being a little leery of, should I put the home on the market? Do I really want buyers coming through my home? But the market really did and learn how to shift, right? Shift and pivot. And a lot of the showings were done virtually through methods of Zoom or FaceTime. And so we were able to help buyers get their home using those methods and doing that ahead of time before actually going out to take a look at the property. So we were definitely able to make it work. So this is where we're at as of June 29th. The June obviously is not quite over just yet. So these numbers will probably improve quite quite a bit just because whatever hits today and then the next couple days. And then usually there's a lag when the data is updated in our system and portal. So right now we are sitting at number of home sales at 1,449. I'm going to jump back here. And so we were at 1,483 in May. So we're a little bit higher. So we've done, so far we've improved. We're better than May. The average sale price was 194,000. We improved in the average sale price from 194 at 194 versus the 187. The new listings were at 2,199. So we are right about that same. Wait a minute. 2021 is what we're at for May. So we improved the new listings. And then the average days on market for June is 56 versus 54. So we're still in that same ballpark. So these are the numbers that we're coming in at in June. So, oopsie, it's very important that you think about this as a whole and the importance of owning real estate. And so I'm going to share with you. So here's a little information on why you should buy or invest in real estate. So for Black homeowners, Black home ownership is at an all-time low. So it's lower today than it was during a time when it was legal to discriminate in housing. And so not quite sure why or how the Black community got away from investing in real estate and buying assets, but it's definitely time to get back to buying real estate and just improving the quality of life. Stability in a home is what really is the driving factors that help build communities. And so definitely is the time to consider this as you're trying to figure out ways to provide for your family down the line. Also, the interest rates are very low right now. So the interest rates are low. It makes it affordable. It allows you to purchase more house than having to put that money going towards interest on your loan. So that's what makes it a good time to buy. The number one source of generational wealth is home ownership. So when you look at history, when you look at the data, it's always leads back to real estate. Real estate is, even though it's an expensive asset that you're buying, but the strategy and everything behind it, where you can buy this asset so you could buy a $200,000 house. And with the interest rates as, in the low threes and sometimes kind of high twos right now, there's no real asset that you can get out there, and in some cases gain immediate equity out of it, that you can then pull that equity out and then do things like start a business, send your kids to college, make repairs, buy another property. So that's what makes real estate a great source to help build wealth. The average amount of equity earned in a homeowner last year was $9,600. This is coming from CoreLogic, provided this information. And, $9,600 over a year of equity earned is wonderful. When you think about that, how that compounds year after year, if you're saying like if next year you get another $9,600, you're almost at $20,000 of equity into that property that you would be able to pull out. Not all properties work like this. I just want to make sure and give that disclaimer. That's why it's important to look at that property that you are thinking about buying up front to see if it makes sense. You want to build a strategy before buying your first property versus just buying it for a roof over your head. Everything is strategy. Does it make sense? Do you think about the design, the location, the style? What can this property do with a little of improvement in there? And then will it allow you to sell it for more money? There's two types of common loan types in order to purchase a property. The most common. There's a couple others, but today I'm just going to talk about the first one here, FHA. The minimum score for FHA is 580 per FHA guidelines. I will be honest with you, most of the lenders do not go down to the 580. Right now, they're looking, we can get lenders more like 620, 640. The sweet spot is actually if you can get to be about 650, 670, that would put you in a better position. A lot of times, the lower your score is, the lender is going to require reserves. That is cash savings in the bank. So the higher that we can get your score up, then we don't have to worry about, or you don't have to worry about as many cash reserves. The minimum down for a FHA loan is 3.5%, but the max seller concessions is 6%. So that means you can put 3.5% down payment, and then for your closing costs, the seller can contribute up to 6% of that. So essentially, they can cover all of your closing costs. Usually that 6% is enough to cover all of your closing costs. On a conventional loan, the minimum score is 680. The minimum down is 5 to 20%. There is a program through conventional that will allow you it's like a first-time home buyer program that will allow you to put 3% down. Again, we got to look at the score. There's a number of factors in there, but on average, you're looking at about 5 to 20% down. But the max seller concession is 3% on a conventional loan. So that same thing, your down payment, you're going to be putting 5 to 20% down. And then for your closing costs, the seller can contribute up to 3%. So with the conventional loan, you need actually more cash. You need a higher score and you need more cash outlay for this type of loan. So you want to make sure that your first move is your best move, and buy smart on your first home purchase. Consider purchase a multifamily property for your first property, 4 units or less. It's still considered residential real estate. So you want to make sure that, if you're in a position to, especially for all of my young folks out there, you want to make sure that when you buy your first property, buy it with a strategy. That strategy includes, if it's just you don't need a lot of space. You might not have kids, or if it's just you and your significant other. So you can definitely buy a 4-unit property, live in 1 unit for about a year. And then after that year is up, then move into another property. So living in 1 unit, then you have those other 3 units where you're collecting rent. The other thing that you consider to do, if you're someone that does not like multifamily, like a 3-unit or a 2-unit or whatever, then you can also consider just buying a single family home and then renting out some of those rooms in your home. This is the quickest way to help you pay off that property and generate some additional income for yourself. But if you build this plan, a lot of times we get stuck, well, I don't want to live with anyone. It's about strategy. It's about it's about short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. So thank you for joining me this Monday morning. I hope you guys found this information useful. If you are not already, please like, subscribe, or share this information or my channel with your friends and family members. I like to post on here. I'm always going live, and I like to provide resources and information in regards to real estate. If you have any additional questions, feel free to shoot me a message, or you can call our office at 216-220-7886. And I am Andrea Wilson. I am the broker over at Brick House Realty. And if we have not connected, please send me a DM. I love to connect with you. Again, have a wonderful day.